In today's video, we're going to be going over my top 5 forwards in the 2023 NBA Draft. If you haven't watched my last 3 videos, be sure to do that because I think there's a couple of players in my forward rankings that could be considered wings or even bigs, and the big video will be coming out sometime next week. These rankings are definitely going to change throughout the season as we get closer to draft time. But at the moment, I'm currently going to be listing my current top 5, including 2 honorable mentions. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, let's get into the rankings. My first honorable mention is Kris Murray out of Iowa. Murray is the twin brother of last year's top 5 pick Keegan Murray, and I think their games are really similar other than the hand that they shoot with. He's currently averaging 21 points, 9.5 rebounds, and almost 2 assists on great efficiency. I think that he's a really solid all-around player, but I don't see his upside being close to where Keegan's was last year, which is why I'm not quite as high on him as I was his brother. I think he could find his way into the lottery, but more likely towards the back half of the first round. My second honorable mention is Bobby Miller out of Florida State. Miller is an extremely raw prospect, and due to the NCAA being the NCAA, he's only been able to play 1 game so far this year. Nothing really jumped off the page in his first appearance, but as I said, he's very raw. And I think for a player at his size with his mobility and overall ball skills for somebody standing 6'11", I think teams will definitely be willing to take a chance on him in the first round. I'm really not sure at the moment where I think he could be taken, but I just think it'll be relatively early in the draft due to his upside and overall natural abilities. Now, getting into my top 5, my number 5 forward is Taylor Hendricks out of UCF. Central Florida definitely is not a school that you think of producing top talent for the NBA, but I think they have one in Taylor Hendricks. Standing at 6'9" as a freshman, his stats are decent, putting up 14 points and a little over 6.5 rebounds a game, but he's doing it on decent efficiency. Plus, I think his calling card for NBA teams during the draft is going to be his mobility for a player of his size. He's standing at 6'9" and a little over 200 pounds, but he moves his feet great, and I think he's a real switchable defender even at the NBA level. I don't think he'll be taken within the lottery just due to the quality of this class, but I think he's pretty safe as a lock for the first round, and I'd predict him going somewhere around pick 20. My number 4 forward is Jarace Walker out of Houston. Playing on one of the better teams in the country this season at Houston, Jarace Walker's definitely been pushed to more of a role player role for this team. He has had moments in certain games where he's able to break out with scoring, but he's mainly been a connecting piece and a real high-level freshman defender. He's one prospect, which I really don't like doing this, but I have looked back at a lot of his high school tape when evaluating him. He really hasn't had the opportunity to show much playmaking upside, but just believe me when I tell you it's there. You could see it super easily when he played in high school, but that's kind of been taken out of his hands this season. Walker's definitely one of my favorite prospects in this draft class, but I could see him being taken anywhere from right around pick 10 all the way falling to pick 20. This isn't any knock on him, it's just the overall quality and depth of this class. My number 3 forward is GG Jackson out of South Carolina. Jackson reclassified to come to college a year early, and I think that this is going to hurt his draft stock a little bit from where he would have been if he stayed in his original class. I think if he stayed, he would have fought for a top 3 pick in next year's draft. And this one, I think that is really going to help him when NBA teams are looking at him. He's shown a lot of upside at South Carolina, who's not a very good team this season, but he's shown great flashes of scoring ability, ball handling, just overall feel for the game, primarily on the offensive end. I think it'll be relatively easy for him to improve on defense just with his size and athleticism, but that's going to have to be something that NBA teams believe in to determine where he gets taken. I really think he'll go somewhere in the top 7 or 8, but if he falls outside of the lottery, I don't think it'll be by very many picks at all. My number 2 forward for this class is Cam Whitmore out of Villanova. Whitmore very well could be my favorite draft prospect in this class, and a lot of that has come from his times playing in U19s for Team USA and a number of high school camps and games that I've watched him play in. He's a remarkably powerful athlete who can jump up from anywhere and dunk it, whether that's on the run or just standing flat-footed. But he's also shown great promise as an outside shooter. I do think this is a little ways off, but I believe in his shooting mechanics and think he could develop into a knockdown three-point shooter. I've really wrestled with the idea of Cam Whitmore and Amen Thompson in my personal rankings, but I think that he should be taken in the top 5. Whether that's 3, 4, or 5, I don't know. It really depends on the team's drafting, but I think his upside is definitely worthy of him being taken this high. My number 1 forward in this class is Victor Wembanyama out of France. There really isn't much new that I can say about Wembanyama that you don't already know, but he is a generational prospect, standing at 7'5", who can dribble, pass, shoot, drive, block shots. Anything you need him to do, he's able to do it at a very high level. He's without a doubt one of the greatest, if not the greatest prospects that I've seen in my lifetime, and a surefire lock for the number 1 pick. Any team that gets him, their whole culture changes. He can do a 180 on the worst teams in the worst position in the NBA right now, and that's why you see so many teams hopeful to be put in the position to take him. This wraps up my top forwards for the 2023 NBA draft. As I mentioned at the start of this video, these rankings will definitely change as we get closer to the draft, but I'll put out new videos and update my rankings as we go. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Jace. Thanks for watching Plus Basketball.